Hello there. This is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. This is the card that we'll be making. Thank you for joining me today. And I have a couple extra pictures for you. This is one of my more popular sketches or layouts that I use that gets a lot of attention, and it was great to use with the paper pumpkin for July on my mind. And the Come Sail Away bundle, which is one of 3 bundles that went with this. I've already done 2 other cards today on the other 2. And this is coordinating with the Sailing Away. The other 2 were woven threads and garden green. This is what we're using today. I'm only going to be using the dies from Sail Away, the handwritten background stamp set, and the On My Mind stamp set from the July Paper Pumpkin. Those are my embellishments. I have that clip there. It's larger than, I'm going back, with a Pacific point marker, and that blade tool that you see on the right, I use that to distress my paper. It's old by a decade, it's retired, but I keep those kinds of tools. So I'm pulling in the handwritten, and I normally actually never do this. It can be messy, but I knew I had to set it aside and then clean it up later to get this video done. So I have Night of Navy cardstock with Night of Navy ink, and I just press it down on top. And I'm going to die cut the anchor out of the Sailing Away dies, out of that 3 times. First 2 times, don't worry about how the prints lined up. The 3rd time, or at least one of them, you want, your print to be straight. So I ran it through once, and I'm going to run it through another 2 times off screen. And I think right about now I start to bring the puppy in. Jezebel. No, it's going to be the next one. So I'm grabbing some glue and I'm laying it down. And this is where I'm going to stack the die cuts. And you've seen me do this, before. And I'm going to pile up 3. It gives a really nice embellishment and some substance. With the other dimension elements I had on the card, I did not want to dry emboss that anchor because I distressed the edges of the card. I have almost like a bubble pattern for my faux ocean at the bottom, and I already have script DSP in there from the Real Red, and then my stripes, which is a favorite of mine, as you know. And I thought, well, adding in some larger tone-on-tone print is going to work, and it did. That's just the way that I pull everything together. So you're watching me do a lot of things that you normally wouldn't do, because I find if I edit the video less, my voice keeps up better. There's Puppy. Her name's Jezebel, and there's a story behind it. And I know that's like not a good name, but again, that's a story. So this is a DSP that goes with Sailing Away, and check my supply list. So I'm taking that distress tool, and I haven't used it for, I don't know, a decade or something. So I'm trying to wing it, and I'm struggling because it should be going a lot faster than this. But when I hit the red, the Real Red, that's a bright DSP in the script pattern, you'll see where I just start edging on down, and it works. And that's how you use it. When you don't use something for a while, it comes back to you like riding a bike. And this was one of those instances. You always want to distress your corners a little bit more, but that is what I'm doing that made it really work out there, is what you just saw on that last side of the Night of Navy, and what you're seeing with the Subtles DSP. And someone's running around. You can hear the paw prints, or the paw, whatever, on a carpet. Yeah, she's going nuts. With this card, I took it down to a 4 by 5 1/4. and use the crumb cake cardstock because I was getting low from the kit ingredients. That little, my faux ocean right there, that's coming from Sea of Textures, I believe. And I wanted to add some, like a pop of blue in there somewhere, because I knew that I was going to keep the sentiment real red and everything else. On this card we're making today is real red. On my sample card, that is Poppy Parade. So I'm taking the Pacific Point marker and I'm coloring it in on the rubber stamp of Sea of Textures, just to kind of get that little divot there, for lack of a better term, which did not work out for me, but it worked out good enough to where I can get the anchor on there and line up that sentiment, because I'm working on a smaller canvas for my image panel, and I will have all the measurements and everything are over at cindybdesigns.com. There's a link underneath the description in this YouTube description, or whatever it's called, where you can just click right on it and it'll take you right there for it. And it's under instructions towards the bottom of the blog post. So I lined up the happy birthday from the July paper pumpkin on my mind. You know, took the door off, took it to the window to make sure it was straight. And I'm going to ink that up with real red. And the hesitation that you see with me closing the door is just to make sure that, okay, am I going to line up? And I did. I am pulling back in my card base with both of my DSPs. On my sample card, I did not adhere them down. This one, I'm going to a little bit, just to be on the safe side. Do you have to do it? No. Apologies, my toes were getting bitten. That is with razor sharp peppy teeth. Oh, that is Nature's Twine in the crumb cake. It's 3 times thicker than the linen thread, and when my image panel is small like this, I needed my twine to be a little bit more substantial. And I took some. Okay, she barked. Good job! She's not a barker. I'm sorry. Laid it down. Good puppy. Laying that up. And how I'm doing the rest of that on there is I'm taking the natural turn of the twine and letting it put itself on the cardstock so I can adhere it down. And I'm going to be doing that with a combination of Tombow Mono, which we call liquid glue as well, and glue dots. I did glue dots because I kind of got tired of waiting for the Tombow to dry and was in a hurry. And that's how I let, everything set up. Just block it down. And you're seeing like a lot of my cheese that you normally would not see. Now when you want to put glue dots down like that, roly-poly them on your take your pick tool so it doesn't come out the outside. And the squeaky toys you're going to hear, that's because she's got her squeaky toys and chewing on them. So for the image panel, I am going to put that up pretty close towards the top. The cardstock is down low enough to where, can the clip hold it without being adhered? Absolutely. And now I'm tucking everything in, and I'm making sure that everything is lined up, top to bottom, left to right, and center it up. So I put the clip on, and I'm pulling in some frosted and clear epoxy drops. Those are the small size of the clear drops, and I'm going to do my rule of threes there and put 3 on the front panel. And we are going to be done. We're going to come up on where you see both comparisons and everything. And in the meantime, I just want to thank you for joining me today for this card. I hope that you're inspired. Leave a comment. I have a spare paper pumpkin for you. And check out my blog for everything new. Christmas holiday catalog is coming up next week on Tuesday. And I hope that you join me for some back to school projects. So again, thank you so much for your time today. God bless. Have a fantastic weekend. And again, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe.